Anyways, today I'm back at it again, playing Terraria, except this time I'm going to be doing a 100% playthrough on mobile. Now, I did used to have two playthroughs on Terraria, but if anybody knows, at one point YouTube had a mass shutdown and everything on YouTube was just gone. Nobody could get on there. Um, well, I thought that I was being hacked, so I reset my phone and I lost all my servers on Terraria. So now I have to start all over again, and I'm happy to do that, guys, with you in this 100% playthrough of Terraria Mobile. What's it called again? The update? Whatever it is, it's a good update, whatever. Anyways, let's get right into the video. So immediately, similar to the Minecraft video, my first instinct is to grab as much wood as possible and to begin building a house for the guide NPC. Now, with the guide NPC, he doesn't really provide much benefits, especially if you already know what the crafting recipes are, but it is definitely helpful to have at least a house where your NPC lives, because it opens the gateway to having more and more NPCs in this game. So I'm gonna gather some wood to build a house for the guide, and as well as make a wooden sword, or maybe not yet, but there's wooden items you can make. So yeah, I'm gonna build a house with it. I'm gonna get some wood and build a house for the guide, and I'll see you guys after that. So now that the house is built, our next goal is going to be to just explore the land and see what we can find in caves. Now, Trey has a vast amount of cave systems, especially in the computer version, but since this is PC, the maps are limited in order to make sure that the game does not lag too much. So, thankfully, there's not that much to explore, and it shouldn't be that hard to find good items in the caverns. And if you get lucky, you might even find a roller coaster. Um, so I just have to do a little bit of walking, and I'm lucky enough to encounter a nice big cave. And sometimes those caves can even lead to the underworld, so this could be very helpful if it does, but only sometimes though. Most likely not. Right now, I'm mining one of the most basic ores, and it's called lead ore. Now, lead ore, you can't really do much with it, and it's not really that good for armor. There's a lot of better things out there in Terraria, but it's really good for the basics, and it could genuinely help you survive a lot longer, especially if you end up mining and you don't have, if you don't have any armor, the mobs are gonna, kill you faster. So it's recommended that you get some armor, even if it's lead armor, made out of, one of the other basic metals, like copper. It's still genuinely helpful, and it can help you survive a lot longer than you would otherwise. And the weapons, even though it's not a significant amount, they do a little bit more damage, so if possible, you should try to at least make like a copper sword or a lead bow or a broadsword. Don't make the short swords. Those ones they're trash. They don't do a lot of damage. But yeah, so I'm mining lead and I'm going to go deeper and deeper into the cave and see what I find. If I'm lucky, I may be able to find a roller coaster, which typically leads you to a new area, and it's just a much faster way to travel than just walking. And it's also safer because you can do damage to the mobs that step in your path. So I hope that I'm able to find one. I don't know if I will, but maybe, just maybe. I just died, so I think it's time to invest in some of the armor that I was just talking about previously. Now, since I don't have a furnace, I can't really smelt any of the lead or copper that I just got into bars for making armor, so for now, I think I'm just gonna have to settle with just using, wooden armor, which it just gives one defense per item, and since you only have breastplate, leggings, and helmet, there's only like 3 defense, which it's not very good, but it's something at least. I guess I just have to bear with that for now, and I might just make a wooden sword when I go there too, because the copper short sword, it's not that much worse than a wooden sword, but it just doesn't really work as well as wooden swords. Since, as you can see, short swords have lower range. God damn, I'm stuttering. As it would imply, and having a wooden sword would allow for better range and just better damage overall. Although if you were to fight, just a word of advice, do not use melee class because that class has nothing for those battles. You're going to get destroyed because all bosses do damage when you go next to them or when they touch you, and it just wouldn't be a really good idea. I'm heading back right into the cave, and I'm trying to be a little bit more careful since last time I died from fall damage, which is a big issue in the beginning of Terraria when you have low health and you don't have like the wings that you get in hard mode or the horseshoe which you can get from floating islands in order to give you immunity to most falls. So I have to be extremely careful when going down long distances, and I have to make sure that it's not too long to the point where I'm going to die if I fall down there. So that was my mistake before. I'm going to be a little bit more cautious and just make my way down the cave. Thankfully, I managed to find a chest, and that chest happens to have one of the best items for Terraria in general, and that is the magic mirror. The magic mirror is a simple but very useful item that can be found at any point in any random chest, whether it be underground or in the overworld in a random chest. Now, magic mirrors allow you to teleport to wherever your spawn point is set. Now, until you make a bed, you cannot choose where you are going to spawn. But, for the time being, simply having the magic mirror allows you to get out of any tough situations that you may currently be in. So it's definitely a very valuable asset for Terraria in general, especially since there are times when you might stay in a place for too long and then a bunch of mobs will just end up spawning and you won't be able to kill them. So it's a very useful weapon for that point. So fast forward a bit, and I've managed to get a decent amount of ores, and thanks to my magic mirror, now that I'm ready to go and I have my ores, I just pop it and I can instantly go home. Now, I didn't really realize how fast time had passed, so when I went home, it was already nighttime. And that isn't really something that I want to hear since nighttime from the mobs come, and I only had a wooden sword and wooden armor as my protection, so that didn't really excite me to tell the truth. But I knew that it would probably be fine. I just had to make a bow and maybe try to get some, what's it called? Or those star arrows, since they're really good against mobs and even bosses. If you can have like fast shoes, it could really help you out in the battle. So yeah, I'm not too worried, but it's gonna be maybe a bit of a rough night. Now, I decided to start building another house, and that house is probably gonna be for either the merchant or the demolitionist. Now I know I can get the demolitionist because when I got the magic mirror, I also managed to get some bombs. But the merchant only spawns when you have 50 coins. Now both of them are, I mean, they're not great NPCs by any standards. They're kind of just average. I mean, unless you're gonna use rocket launchers in the hard mode version of Terraria, then yeah, the demolitionist is gonna be your best friend. But they're not really that helpful in terms of what they sell. Like the merchant just gives you the anvil, which is only helpful if you didn't have enough ores to make one already, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because you probably went exploring in the morning. And then the demolitionist only sells bombs, which are only useful for like mining to the underworld if you're kind of too lazy to just make a straight path with your pickaxe. Or I guess it's more of a quicker way than just a lazy way. But yeah, they're not really that helpful NPCs. Everything they sell, most of the stuff they sell, could be found in different locations if you truly wanted to look for it. But I guess nonetheless, they're still sub decent NPCs and are worth getting. So I'm going to begin making the house for the merchant. The star arrows I was talking about beforehand, and boy do they just mow down those zombies. Like they did not even stand a chance. Thank goodness for those arrows. But that still doesn't really close the fact that until I put doors on that house, they're gonna keep coming in. And on top of that, one issue with Terraria that has always stood true to me is that the NPCs, they kinda do dumb stuff sometimes. Like at times you'll have them in their house and then for whatever reason, they'll just feel the need to open the door and walk outside in the middle of the night and they'll just get themselves killed from time to time. So you just kinda have to ignore your NPCs sometimes even if they're really helpful, they just do dumb stuff, and you can't really babysit them all the time. So yeah, but if you do run into an issue where your NPCs are killing themselves, I suggest just leaving the area since they don't really do nothing if you're not there, and mobs will only spawn in your area. But yeah, and I'm just I finally made a furnace so I could start begin turning my ores into bars for actual weapon crafting. Now, I didn't really get that much ores, so I can't really make any weapons of notable usage. I mean, I could probably make something, but I don't think I will since it's probably not going to be that helpful to me. But I'll see what I can do with it, if anything. So fast forward a bit, and nothing of value really happened that night. I mean, the only thing of notable interest that happened is that the guy got me killed a lot because he just refused to stop opening his door for no reason. Like I swear, he just kept opening the door over and over again, and he literally got me killed like 3 times. Thankfully, though, I managed to weather the storm, and I made it to see a beautiful new day. I mean, it was hard to get there, but I got there eventually. Anyway, so I managed. There's a little bit of mods left since it's not completely morning time yet, but it is very close and the sun is kind of rising at this point. So I just have to fend off the small amount of mobs left, and then it should finally be daytime, and then we could finally wrap this video up, which I know I'm happy to do since editing is literally the bane of my existence. Anyway, seeing as it's daytime now, it is time to wrap this video up, finally. Anyways, I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And yeah, that's all.